Welcome to the happy place. I think now you can all hear me. Uh, a lot of times there is so much negativity all around us that we get overwhelmed and feel that there is no hope at all. And, we will be stuck in this kind of a situation for a long period of time. But let's try to keep all those emotions, all those worries, all those stresses, tensions, and whatever principles, concepts that you've learned till now aside. And let's take this 1 hour to find that place of happiness within us. We'll be sharing tried and tested but simple tools with you, which you can use to make yourselves more peaceful, more calm, and finally find that happiness within you instead of looking out to people or to situations, to circumstances to find that happiness. So International College has been into financial education, has been into fashion education, basically super specialized professional education. So what are we doing with this happiness masterclass? There is the situation right now is so grave, nothing like we have ever experienced before. So, which has led to many, many issues and emotions, not only professionally, but also psychologically. I'll give you a small example. My 13-year-old daughter, I took her out for a drive to just give her a change. And she came back and told me that, Mom, please don't take me out again. I feel so sad looking at the shops, looking at the streets, which are, with people wearing masks and shops are shut. So it looks like a ghost town. From that, I thought that, if a 13-year-old feels like that, it's probably that the entire city, the entire state, the entire world is feeling the same way. And today we have, an audience of ranging from 13-year-olds to maybe senior citizens who are above 65 years of age, students, teachers, working professionals. So all of us have joined this masterclass to find that answer to the question that what is in the future and how do we remain happy while tackling the situation. So International College got together a panel of experts to talk to you and to give you these tools to remain happy, to remain peaceful, to remain calm. So with that, I introduce our first expert, Gauri Sethi. I will briefly tell you what she does. So she has been not only a pranic healer, but also a certified pranic healing trainer. She has healed numerous people across the globe with emotional, physical, and relationship issues. Ms. Sethi has served as managing trustee of the MCKS Foundation, Delhi, and is currently trustee of Delhi, UP, Haryana, Uttarakhand, and Himachal chapters. She has a YouTube channel and has done TV and radio shows. She also does corporate programs on holistic wellness, concentration, and productivity. I'll give you an example of my experience with pranic healing and twin heart meditation. I tried twin heart meditation about 6 or 7 years ago. The first time I did it, I felt that, I didn't feel any miracle happening or nothing like a spiritual experience or anything. But then I took a challenge for 30 days and I said, I'm going to do this for the next 30 days. And that was thanks to my sisters. I did that and I haven't looked back after that. So for me, the biggest takeaway from pranic healing is the twin heart meditation and the tools it gives you to remain calm, to have happy relationships, and be peaceful. So let's all welcome Ms. Gauri Sethi. If you can all type on the chat, welcome GS, so she knows, because she cannot see you. So at least she'll know that you all are there. And then we can begin the session. And before that, some ground rules. If any of you want to ask any questions, you can please keep writing on the chat. She will try and answer as we go along. But at the end, we'll collate all the questions so that she can answer at the end as well. So over to you, Gauri Didi. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the masterclass on happiness. I'm Gauri Sethi, and thank you, International College of Financial Planning, to invite me here. You know, I love the title of the workshop, Masterclass on Happiness. So I'm sure this is going to make us very happy, and we are all looking forward to being happy then. So a lot of people are doing a lot of things these days, but to have a class on happiness is a very wonderful feeling. And I'm presuming that you have enrolled here to be happy. So I have to make you happy now. It's a big challenge these days. These have been very trying times. We are facing a problem now. You know, usually we would have a problem or a crisis pertaining to our family, maybe our city, maybe our country. But this is now a global pandemic. So that means that the entire earth has literally come to a halt or a pause. So this is concerning the entire earth or the globe. That can be quite scary and stressful. So I can understand if people are feeling anxious and stressful, but don't worry about it. You know what I was thinking? I mean, I like to see the positive side of everything. So I was just thinking, I said, well, at least there's one thing, that we will have something very exciting to tell our grandchildren. That, you know what, in those times, when we were there was this pandemic or this global crisis in which we were stuck and the whole world came to a stop. But we did not only learn to survive, but we also sort of saved the world. Doesn't it sound very exciting? It almost sounds like a Marvel movie. I thought to myself, our grandchildren are going to be really impressed that what kind of times were we living in. So this is something that we are going to do that. And on a lighter note, yes, we are talking of like a Marvel movie that we're going to save the world. But let me tell you something. I am a pranic healer and I belong to an energy school. So energy follows thought, which means that we can almost control the energies. Just think about it. How powerful is that? Now it's beginning to sound like a movie, right? So we will have positive thoughts and we will try some tools which are going to work. I will give you little easy tools to do in your daily life, which is going to create happiness and release you from any kind of stress and anxiety. So how does that feel? Feels good? All right. So I would like to show you a little video on what is pranic healing. You know, pranic healing is an energy school in which we clean the aura of a person and then rejuvenate it with fresh prana. And how do we do that? I want to show you this video. So just let's have a look. What is pranic healing? All right. So I was showing you this animated film which showed that what is pranic healing. We all seem to have an aura around us, which is like a transparent bubble. These days, the word bubble, the word aura is very fashionable. And what is an aura? So we have a physical body that you can touch, feel, see. And then we have an invisible physical body, which you cannot really see. So it's almost like, you know, when we were children, we used to have that soapy water, we would blow into it. Even the kids play now, they blow into it, and then you have these transparent little bubbles, which are very delicate and fragile. We all have a bubble around us, which is our aura. And this bubble gets filled up by the thoughts we have, the emotions we have, and then that is what we are made of. Our aura is filled with that. Do you know how many thoughts do we create in a day? 60,000 thoughts. Just imagine, that's like a lot of thoughts. And if you are going to carry 60,000 thoughts every day and keep adding to it, how much load are you carrying? Now just think that this bubble, if this carries stressful thoughts, unhappy thoughts, negative thoughts, how wearisome it's going to be, how tiring it's going to be. And if we have happy thoughts, cleaner thoughts, and positive thoughts, it's going to be much easier. Haven't you noticed that as you grow older, your spine starts curling up, your body becomes like this, and the whole skeletal system it starts shrinking because it is carrying the weight of all your thoughts, which are bearing very heavy on you, which are stressful and which are competitive. So I think what we need to do is have happy thoughts and cleaner thoughts. That is what pranic healing does. It cleans your aura and energizes. Now you would think, how does pranic healing clean my aura? Believe me, what happens in pranic healing, it was founded by Master Choa Kok Sui. And Master Choa Kok Sui was the founder. He was a chemical engineer. He was an author of these books. And he was a businessman. He came from Philippines and he studied the religions of all the world and put it together as a way of life. Spirituality, which is a way of life. We have nothing to do with any religion. We do not say that you follow any religion. This is not about religion. This is about a way of life. So just like you would adapt yoga to your life, you adopt pranic healing, which is a way of life to live a healthy, happy, peaceful life. Now, what do? How do we clean this aura and how do we replenish it? We clean the aura with just bare hands and we replenish with fresh prana or pran, the Sanskrit word pran, which means life force. And where does this life force come from? The air, the sun, and the earth. So it's freely available everywhere, all over. Very simple because it's freely available, so it can be rejuvenating for everyone. Now, would you like to feel the energy? If I'm talking of energy, then would you like to feel it? Let's try. Let's sensitize your hands. Press the center of your palms and your fingertips. These are chakras here. So we'll press the palm chakras and the finger chakras. Now sit straight, inhale, exhale, and keep your tongue rolled up to the palate. Just breathe gradually, just relax. Keep your spine straight and try to bring your hands closer very gradually. See if you can feel something in your hands. Some people feel ticklish. Some people feel pinpricks. Some feel hot. Some people feel cold. Some feel they have a jelly between their hands. Can you feel something? It would be nice if you could just type it, because then I'll know if you're feeling something. This is what we are feeling, the energy. Now remember, it's a very subtle feeling. It's almost like feeling air. So it won't be something that you bring your hands quickly. You just bring very softly. And it's as you get closer, you're going to feel like there is some tingling, some jelly kind of a thing, or some pinpricks or a magnetic field between your hands. Can you feel it? Yes, I'm getting a lot of yeses. You are feeling something, right? So this is how you feel the energy, and you can play with it. It's like a ball. Can you feel? This is an energy ball. Now, this is your energy. You are feeling your own energy. How fantastic is this? Did you ever feel that there was an energy ball around you and you could feel it? Yeah, some people are feeling heat. All right. So now everyone's experience is exclusive. You will feel a different feeling. Now, would you like to increase your energy? Would you like to increase your energy? I will tell you a trick which is called pranic breathing. This can make you increase your energy because what you're feeling is very light and subtle and you can't seem to feel it so much. For the ones who can't, let's do a breathing technique which will keep you calm, will make you feel relaxed, and it will increase your energy. So what you're going to do is, again, like I said, keep your spine straight. Inhale, exhale in a relaxed manner. And you are going to just close your eyes and relax. Just relax. When you center yourself, keep your tongue rolled up to your palate. The cave that we have in our mouth, that's the palate. Keep your tongue up. If you can roll it up and take it backward, there's a soft spot at the back. If you can keep it there, it's great. You will feel calmness. Otherwise, even if you just touch your palate, it's okay, right? I would want you to just see the screen for a second. Can you see the screen? There's a slide that I'm showing you. It's got a picture of the lungs. Now, what you're going to do is you will breathe from your abdomen. Keep your hand on your navel. Keep your hand on your navel and you will inhale, hold and exhale. I'm going to go back. Let's go back. Keep your hand on the navel, inhale and exhale. Do you feel, when you inhale, feel your abdomen coming out. And when you exhale, pull your tummy in, pull your navel in, right? When you inhale, breathe in a lot of air and feel your tummy going out. When you exhale, pull your tummy in and exhale all the dirty energy. What we are doing now here is pranic breathing. We are taking in more prana and throwing out more prana. As you see in the diagram, the lungs are muscular. They can be stretched. So they are air sacs which are made of muscle and they can be extended. So when we do abdominal breathing, when we push out our tummy, we actually create a lot more space for our lungs to absorb more air prana, which means more healthy prana or life force is getting in when we are taking the air prana. Remember, the prana or the life force comes through the air, the sun and the earth. So we are inhaling more air prana, and when we exhale, we pull in our tummy and we push up the lung to literally squeeze out all the dirty breathing or the dirty breaths that we had inside, all the used up energy that we had inside. We are exhaling even more, right? So this is how we do the abdominal breathing. Now, all the ones who have had babies or the ones who have had any siblings, try and remember, have you seen a little infant lying on the bed and sleeping? When they're sleeping, you will see when they breathe, their tummy goes up and down. And you're wondering that, they have these roly-poly tummies going up and down because they're doing abdominal breathing. As we grow up, we forget that and we start breathing through our chest, which now if you try it yourself, it's literally taking half the air in and half the air is thrown out. That is why as we grow and we are in these polluted cities, in so much stress, traffic pollution and all that, we start developing breathing problems. But let's say in the morning in the fresh air, we practice this breathing. We begin our day, our aura is already expanded, full of energy. And then in the day also, gradually it will become a habit to do the abdominal breathing. Would you like to try this? Let's do a little experiment with it. You will count. So inhale to the count of 7, hold for 1 count, and exhale till the count of 7 again and hold for 1 count. So 7, 1, 7, 1, right? What you will do is you have to follow a rhythm. So take your pulse, find your pulse, and at the speed what your pulse is beating, that will be your 7 counts. So hold your pulse like the doctor checks. You will check your own pulse. Count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was your inhalation. Hold for 1 count. Now exhale for 7 counts. Let go. Pull in your tummy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was inhale. Then hold and then back, exhale, again 7 counts. So inhaling for 7 counts, holding for 1, exhaling for 7 counts, holding for 1. Try it 2-3 times for 2-3 breathing cycles. Inhalation and exhalation is 1 cycle. So 1 set of inhalation, then exhalation, 1 cycle. Now sometimes some people feel the 7 counts are too many and they can't hold on to it. What you could do, there's an option. You could do another one, 6-3-6-3, which means you will inhale for 6 counts, hold for 3, exhale for 6 counts, hold for 3. Let's try this for 3 breathing cycles. Inhale according to the speed of your pulse. That is your speed. Please don't go faster than that. Go by your speed. 6 counts inhalation, hold for 3, exhale 6 counts, tummy in, hold for 3. Then again fill in your tummy with the fresh air, 6 counts, hold for 3, exhale 6 counts, hold for 3. I'm not counting for you because that might confuse you. Everybody has their own speed. 5 breathing cycles are good enough. You can begin doing that in the morning, 5 breathing cycles. Don't push yourself harder because you might get a headache. Just do what's comfortable. Gradually build it up to 7 cycles, then 9 cycles. 10 breathing cycles is maximum. Don't go beyond that. This much is enough. When we do these breathing cycles, we are taking a lot more air and we're exhaling a lot more air. So we, in return, our aura is getting much higher and much bigger. Did everyone get that? How does it feel? Do you feel any calmer? Do you feel more relaxed? Suddenly, everything seems to slow down. Don't think that you will slow down. You will actually become more productive. It's just that when our mind runs too fast and our mind gathers too much in it, then we become stressed and hyper. We need to slow down to be able to produce much more results in this fast-moving world. Please remember that. Do you know that when we do more breathing like this, our heartbeat gets slower? Do you know that when we meditate, our heartbeat gets slower, which is a good thing? Because when the heartbeat is slower, you live longer. Why is that? The heart is a pump. It's a muscle. And this pump is working day and night. The heart does not sleep. The other organs get to rest, but the heart doesn't rest. And God forbid, if it starts resting, then we will be no more. So what we are going to do is the more the pump works very fast, it does not, though it works very fast, what happens is that it starts depreciating also very fast. It starts wearing out very fast. If any motor or any machinery you're going to abuse and misuse it so fast and all the time, it's going to start wearing down. We need to make our heart rest by meditating and doing pranic breathing, so the heart rate is slower, heart beats slower, and it lives much longer. Do you know which animal lives the longest on earth? It's the turtle, 300 to 400 years, because it breathes very slowly, the heart beats very slowly. All right, and that is why the turtle wins the race from the fast-running rabbit, right? So somewhere our little stories always gave us some moral lessons. We just need to understand them. Now, one more thing. I told you to keep your tongue to the palate. Why do I do that? That is another technique of calming yourself down and getting your productivity up. Now, if you look at the picture, can you see the picture, the diagram of tongue to the palate? The first one says switch on, and the second one says switch off. It's disconnected. Can you see the picture, please? Just type yes, please. The picture which has the tongue on is when you roll up your tongue to the palate and take it back to the soft spot right behind the cave of the mouth, then you have a connection, all your chakras get balanced, and the flow of energy is running through all the chakras, making all the chakras function well and your aura much bigger. So it's more centered, more calm, and more focused. When you keep your tongue down, then the chakras are, the energy flow in the chakras is not so even, and the energy cycle is a little broken. We are not so focused. Our aura is not that big, right? So we need to keep the tongue to the palate most of the time. Now, again, I would say, let's go back to our childhood or to look at our babies more carefully. You know what they say, when the soul is born, the little babies know everything. Then we unlearn everything. And as we grow older and we are stressed, we again relearn everything. So if we go back to our childhood, we will understand that a lot of things that we used to do which were correct. All the babies or the infants have their tongue rolled in and they keep their mouth closed, unless, of course, they're crying for food. But if you notice, all the moms will agree to this, that when the kids had to be given some medicine or they had to be fed and they were just playing smart and not agreeing to eat, especially medicine, I know the kids would not open the mouth. Then what the mothers, the trick they would use was put a little finger in their mouth, roll out their tongue, and then put the spoon with the medicine in. Has anyone tried that? I'm sure some moms must have tried, for all the picky eaters and all the ones who were not well and would not have any medicine. That was the trick. But we realized that we had to roll out the tongue. The tongue for the children were always rolled up. That is the way to be. to keep your tongue rolled up. It keeps us connected. It keeps us connected to our pineal gland in the middle of our brain. It connects us with our crown chakra. So what happens is, when the tongue is rolled up, we are more focused, we are more calm, and we are more relaxed, right? Now, these are two things that I told you how you can beat the anxiety and the stress. Now, there is another thing that we do is the Twin Hearts meditation. As Vani mentioned before, the Twin Heart meditation is a beautiful meditation guided by our teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui, which is, he explained it, and it was a beautifully done thing. It was just concentrating on the heart chakra and the crown chakra. That is why we call it the Twin Hearts. We activate the heart to feel peaceful, and we enjoy the meditation. We bless our loved ones and the entire earth, and that makes it very beautiful, because there's a whole Niagara Fall of divine energy coming through our aura. Our heart is open, our crown is open, so our love for our near ones is accentuated. Our love for the ones we don't know, for humanity, is also accelerated. And there's a whole lot of well-being and feeling of peace and harmony and unity with it. Also, it's a beautiful meditation to bless the entire earth. During the meditation, I will show the video later to you. We imagine a little globe of the earth in front of you, and as you can see the slide, the meditation practitioner is blessing the entire earth with his hands like this. And when you bless the entire earth, the blessings go and bless the entire world, all the people in it, it blesses the entire world like this. All the people who are sick can be blessed with good health. All the people who are sad can be blessed with happiness. All the people who need money can be blessed with financial healing, so on and so forth. So whoever needs anything, you are blessing them with all these things. See, there are only 3 or 4 problems that happen universally: your good health, your emotional health, relationships, your finances, and your spirituality. So let's bless everybody with this. And what happens? By the law of karma, what you give is what you get. Now just imagine you're blessing millions of people with all these things. What are you going to get back? Obviously, all these things in a multifold way. The law of karma says what you sow is what you reap. And what you sow, a seed of happiness, will bring you how many fruits? Do you get 1 fruit out of 1 seed? Not at all. You get an entire tree, and you get the fruits many, many times over and over again with each harvest. So just imagine how much are you going to benefit from this meditation? And you're blessing the entire earth. So something, when in this problem, in this pandemic, which is global, you have a tool to sit at home, put your headphones on, hear a guided meditation for 20 minutes, and bless the entire earth. Whose earth is this? Yours. You are staying in this, and you're blessing it. It's a very, very powerful meditation. Now, the next thing, after we cross over the anxiety and the stress, what would be the next thing that we need to move on to? We will move on to relationships. Now just think, when was the last time that you were locked up in the home with your family 24/7? Can you think of any time like that? Were you ever locked in with your entire family 24/7, not allowed to go out? It's like the House of the Big Boss. I don't watch it. I find it very stressful, but I know it's a very popular show and a lot of people watch it. So what happens in that? People keep fighting all the time. I find it really stressful. But now, when you are locked up in your own home with your family, I hope it's not becoming Big Boss there, right? So what we're going to do is, we are going to find ways. See, it's very natural that when you are with people constantly, there is bound to be some amount of friction. It's like when you went for a holiday also with your family, you were indulging in a lot of other activities and a lot of new experiences you were sharing. Here, you are just supposed to be helping each other, entertaining each other, and causing friction. So it's very difficult. You're supposed to adjust and compromise and entertain also each other. So it's a little tall order, right? It's a little tough. So what we're going to do is, again, we use it to enhance meditation. We make our family sit together. Now, I know a lot of people will say, we don't meditate. We don't know how to meditate, because when we sit, we think of a lot of things, and the mind is like a little monkey. When you try to hold it, it starts jumping from here and there. What do we do to do this, to stop the monkey? You know what I'm going to do? Don't imagine the monkey. Think that when you sit to meditate and the thought forms come, they are like clouds. They're coming into the window of our mind. Don't try to push it out, because the more you try to push it out, you are going to get stuck with you are going to be focusing your entire concentration, keeping the thought out. And then your meditation will not be, your focus is not on the meditation. You are focusing on that, the thought that you were pushing out. So what we need to do is, focus, let the thought come and fly out. So it comes from this, in this window of your mind, and goes out of another window. That way, we are not going to create a problem. We are not going to create concentration or focus or meditating upon that problem. We are going to just let it be, let it flow. A lot of people do get very sharp when they meditate, as in they will start remembering all their chores, all their things too, while doing their meditation. Rather than focusing on the meditation, they start focusing. And initially, to the beginners, we say that you note down your thoughts, because there are so many. But gradually, that's not the idea. You're supposed to leave the thought completely, right? So you will release those thoughts, meditate with your family. It's a guided meditation. All you have to do is bless your family, bless the earth, and it's all, you don't have to worry about it. Just keep hearing easily. So this meditation is going to help you in making your relationships better, have a peaceful atmosphere in your home, and create a lot of love and harmony energies. Now, another thing that I would like to share with you here is a gratitude and appreciation exercise. What we are going to do is, let's try this together. Appreciation is something that rewires your mind. It rewires your brain. It inspires others. It inspires others, and it makes you happy. When you appreciate something, it makes you happy. And when you tell somebody that you appreciate them, it makes them more inspired to do better work, even at work and even in the family, right? So what you're going to do is, you are going to write 5 things which is about a family member that you appreciate, or a loved one that you appreciate, and 5 things I want you to write about gratitude. Let's begin with gratitude. Gratitude is something that you feel in your own life. Now just imagine, we are sitting at home. There is a global pandemic, yes, something to worry about. How are we dealing with the pandemic? Haven't you seen those WhatsApp pictures going around which says, in so-and-so century, the Spanish flu and various other things? What was happening? People are stuck in homes and in some warehouses, and going from places to places, and there were rats and all kinds of things. That was at that century. Now in this century, what are we doing? We're sitting at home with a fridge full of goodies to eat, our dear ones with us, and we are watching Netflix. Now, isn't that something which is very comfortable? Something which is very convenient? Is that a way that, so aren't we blessed that we have a family with us, we have lots of food, we are in fact cooking gourmet food. A lot of people have turned chefs in the lockdown. So we are very grateful for that. So find out 5 things in your life, 5 areas in your life that you're grateful about. You're very glad that your kids are with you, your spouse is with you, your parents are with you. Those things. Some kids were away to school, they have come back. So it's a very nice thing. I think you should make use of this time to spend quality time with your family. You are healthy. That's something to be grateful for in this pandemic. So we need to understand that we are spending time with our family very comfortably in a very relaxed manner. We need to be grateful about. So write 5 things, 5 areas where you what you're grateful about, and then I would maybe you're getting better sleep because you're home and you're not overworked or tired. Yes, people are working from home, but they have a schedule and they do get more rest. They are saving the commuting time. Maybe you are just the air has become better. Forget everything else. The air is so much better and cleaner. We can hear birds chirping. When was the last time you heard birds chirp? There is no traffic, there is no pollution, the pollution levels have come down. So there are various things to be grateful about. Think of those and then take out the 5 things about a family member or a loved one, what you appreciate, and write them. Right? All right. So someone is saying, now I'm coming to the areas of that. Okay, I'm reading your messages. Yes, thank you for your feedback. I will discuss it just now. So, there is not a sound coming. There is some sound coming. Someone please mute it. All right. So now, did we are going through the gratitude and appreciation exercise, right? You'll be surprised what all you come up with and what you remember about your family member that you were not so sure that you appreciated. What will you do? What will you do to bring sometimes, like someone's just written, that what happens is we are still fighting over some things. Now, yes, when you write down all the things that you appreciate about your family, you will feel better. It will make your life a little bit more interesting and your relationship a little bit more happier. But there are some times when we cannot forgive. Sometimes we cannot forget. There are some issues that are stuck in our mind and we need to get rid of that because we are trying, but it's just not going away. What do we do for that? And yes, we are all humans. It is very tough to forgive and forget all the time. We do. But sometimes some people feel, why me all the time? You know why? Because maybe you're more sensitive, maybe you're more understanding, and you're at least trying to understand that why this issue is there. Maybe the other person has not thought about it. Well, because you have thought about it, I would congratulate you that you're a very smart person. You have addressed this issue and you want to get rid of that little thing that is nudging you in your heart and your head, and you want to get rid of it. So what you're going to do is, I will give you a forgiveness prayer. I will share it with you here. This forgiveness prayer is a very simple one and very nice. Very nice. And what you're going to do is sit with this. You can read this forgiveness prayer. We are going to read it together. Sit in your room. You don't have to go to that person physically. Just visualize that person in front of you, and you will be able to talk to that person. Now you're just visualizing. Remember, the person's not there, because sometimes we don't want to go to that person. It could be that he's not ready for a patch up. Maybe you are feeling insecure and unhappy. Maybe the egos are very big. Maybe there is some pride. Maybe there is a social image that you don't want to spoil. So there could be various reasons. Remember one thing, what our physical brain can understand is much lesser than what a soul consciousness can understand. So you sit in your room, talk to that person, address the soul of that person. You are addressing the soul consciousness of that person. The soul consciousness, or our soul, our higher soul, is much more loving, forgiving, and understanding. Right? You need to understand that when they are more understanding, so you're doing this in the privacy of your room, you visualize that person, say Atma so and so namaste. You take the name of the person, visualize that person, hold your hand, say Atma namaste. So please repeat with me, try it out. Imagine the person that you're very irritated with or very unhappy with. It need not be an enemy. Please understand, usually we're more irritated with the most loved person because we're spending so much time, we have so much love with that person, we will have more friction with that person. People we don't live with, we don't have friction with. So you need to understand we will have friction with our loved ones. Don't be shy of it. Some people shy away and say, no, 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 not my child. I can't be angry with my child. Of course we get angry with our children. And of course we get angry with our parents. It's okay. So what you can do now is Atma Namaste, take their name. We are all children of God, children of the Most High. We all make mistakes. I understand. I forgive you for your mistakes. I let go of all the hurt and pain you've caused me. May peace be with you. The matter is over now. May there be peace between you and me. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Visualize if you are family, you're hugging each other, laughing, you're spending good time. If this person is somebody you don't want in your life, he's not a close person, he's not a family member, he's not a good close friend, and you can get rid of the person, visualize that person turning around and going away. All right. So this is the first part of the forgiveness prayer, that we have forgiven the person, right? Then the second part of the meditation, the prayer is Atma Namaste, the same person. We are all children of God. We all make mistakes. I do not always understand the things I say or do. I sincerely apologize for my mistakes. I'm very sorry for the hurt and pain I've caused you. Dear God, please bless me with your divine forgiveness and neutralize my negative karma. May God's peace be with you and with me. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Right? So now you have apologized for your mistake. Now remember, this is one set. Giving forgiveness and asking for forgiveness. This is one set. You're doing with the same person. In case you have 3-4 people, if they are from the same family or together, you can club them together by making 3-4 people stand in front of you and do this prayer with them. But begin with one. I think it's much easier. You can focus on it. This prayer you will do 7 times for 7 days, total 49 times. Repeat this for a few weeks. Your relationship will definitely improve. Now, what's the trick? The magic is in the number 49. 7 times into 7 days, total 49 times. This is from the layers of the Kundalini. The Kundalini has 7 layers with 7 sub-layers, so total 49 layers. We are removing and erasing these past memories, these unhappy memories or unhappy karma from our Kundalini. We are removing and neutralizing this karma completely with the help of God. Right? So we need to do this prayer with all these people 7 times, 7 days, and it will create a beautiful experience. So just like I said, you need to do it one time. I hope you did it one time while I was reading it. Do you feel any lighter? Do you feel any better? After the session, you can do it 7 times. Right? You've done once, do 6 more times. So 7 times for 7 days. 1 week. Please do not think that in 1 week everything's going to be magical and there'll be a miracle. There will be some improvement, but continue for a few weeks, depending on how your relationship, how old the grudge is, how much it is not happening. Please make it, do it a couple of times, right? So that's the forgiveness prayer we will use for our relationships. We will use the gratitude and the appreciation exercise. We will use the Twin Hearts meditation to make ourselves feel and have a better harmony at home. All right. Now there is another thing that is worrying us these days. It's the financial crunch. There's a lot of sound. Yeah. All right. So what happens is, because the work has been closed down, everyone's work has been closed down, there has been a lot of stress. Obviously, people are very worried about their work, their businesses, their projects, their targets. And there is a lot of anxiety to it that now when we go back, what's going to happen, right? So what's going to happen is we need to work. Now, the people who are in business are worried about their profits, their businesses. People who are in jobs are worried about their jobs. A lot of people are being released from their jobs, and the investments and everything is now worrying us. Now you are going to use, like I said, I have given you very simple tools or techniques to be using in your, we'll put the slide again for the prayer. 1 second, we will put it again. So we will use these techniques to make ourselves calmer. So again, like I said, in the morning, while the morning has fresh air, fresh prana, please if you have a window or balcony or terrace or a garden, stand there, inhale, exhale, do the pranic breathing, beginning with 5 times, 5 breathing cycles, taking up into 10 only, right? We will do that. That will make us calmer. And during the day, keep our tongue rolled up to the palate, do the Twin Hearts meditation, and that will really help you. After doing the Twin Hearts meditation, please remember to bless your relatives, your children, your family, your friends, your lovers, your neighbors, whoever you want to wish. And then after that, you can also bless your business projects, workplace, your business project, your business, your investments, your job, everything and anything. You can bless with the beautiful downpour of energy coming down in the Twin Hearts meditation, right? You can do that, and then you can also bless your clients, your bosses, your investors, all of them. You can bless all of them. The energies are very powerful. They will go, and when you send loving energies of good health, happiness, prosperity to people, remember, by law of karma, you get many folds back. Now, I will share another prayer with you, which is called the Great Invocation. That is also a very powerful prayer. Now, the prayers that I'm sharing with you are very simple. It takes a few seconds to read it once in a day. You could read it a couple of times in a day if you feel like. Now, this is the prayer, which is called the Great Invocation, and you can read it out. I will also play an audio of it. You can Google this. You will find this prayer of Great Invocation. Now, I'm going to read this. What you do is you can do it with me. Imagine a little globe in front of you. Put your hands out like this, and you're blessing the earth, right? So let's bless the earth together. It's called the Great Invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let the light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of every person, every being. May the world teacher return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of every person, every being, the purpose which the holy masters know and serve. Let goodwill and the will to do good descend on earth. From the center which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power restore the plan on earth. So be it, so be it, so be it. This is a very powerful prayer. It is used in the times of crisis, in terms of earthquakes, tsunamis, all kinds of global crises and problems. And yes, right now the coronavirus is a global problem. So just imagine, if this prayer can be used for global problems, it can obviously be used for our personal projects, our personal crises, our personal problems. So it is going to be very, very useful. Please read this prayer. We will share the prayer with you again, and you can read this prayer to bless your business and your finances. Now, because you have all been home, sitting locked up and being home, and of course, a lot of people, yes, are exercising very well and focusing on that, but you have to focus on your work. And when you focus at home, you don't necessarily get enough space or privacy to do your work at home, just like you get at work or in the office space. Or when you're studying for your exams, you're not getting enough space at home as you would be doing it maybe in the library or in your college. So what you could do is practice Super Brain Yoga. This is a fantastic technique to, I will just show you another slide. Super Brain Yoga is a beautiful technique which balances the left and the right side of your brain, making your brain be utilized completely. Oh, 1 second, just a second. Can we pause? I'm just sharing the audio of the Great Invocation. You can bless the earth along with the audio. Visualize the earth in front of you, and you can bless along with the audio of the Great Invocation.
Volume has to be increased. The audio is not.
Volume has to be increased. It's full. Can you hear it?
No, so the setting has to be changed from
Setting has to be
from headphone. Set it to headphone. No.
From the center, which we call the human, the plan
Yes.
of love and
Now it's
light
audible.
work out. It seals the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power descend on earth, manifest the divine plan on earth.
Would you like us to play it again? Or that's okay? Would you like to play it again?
Maybe you can replay again.
Yeah, and then all of you can bless your finances, your business, or your projects with this prayer in mind. Bless the earth, and in your mind, keep your project.
From the point of light, within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love, within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the heart of every person, every being. May the great messenger of God return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the wills of every person, every being. The purpose which the holy masters know and serve on earth. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power descend on earth, manifest the divine plan on earth.
All right. So that was the great invocation. It's a beautiful prayer which is used to bless a lot of problems. So like I said, you could use this once, you could do it once a day, or you could do it a couple of times. You can do it like 3 times, 7 times, 11 times, or 108 times, but that's very, very powerful. You can begin with once a day and then maybe do 2-3 times a day, up to you. 3 times is also good. But remember, this is a very beautiful prayer, and you can bless your projects with it. Then I was going to talk about another technique, the Super Brain Yoga, which is this. The Super Brain Yoga is like the Uthak Baithak we used to have in the olden times. We've all heard this, that in the class everyone was told to become, murga bana dete the. Does anyone remember that? Thankfully, we were not made murgas, but we have heard that they were made to do this. They were supposed to hold their ears, both the sides, and then sit up and down 14 times, facing the east. And then that would balance your left and right brain and make it work to the optimal frequency. You know what they say, that the brain that we use is very, very little. So they say that Einstein uses about 6% of his brain. Now, if Einstein is using 6%, what are we using? I don't know. So to make use of our brain, the Super Brain Yoga is something that we teach a lot in the schools. Anybody from the age of 3 can do it till the age of, you can do sit or stand up and down. So that would be 80 years old or more. And you can also, if you can't sit down all the way, go down, then you can sit on the chairs. You can stand and then sit on a chair and then get up again. Can we show the video? This is a video that I'm going to just show you. And you can do this.
We're accustomed to exercise to improve the body, but
Can
what
you
about
see?
working out to improve the brain?
This is interesting. It's sort of like calisthenics for the cranium. CBS 2's Jennifer Savi has been looking at this 3-minute-a-day brain training, and we're fascinated by it, Jim.
Yeah, well, people say it makes them smarter, Paul and Laura. It's called Super Brain Yoga, an exercise intended to pump up cell and neuron activity in the brain. Alzheimer's patients, seniors looking to stave off memory loss, and kids in classrooms are among those who say doing it makes them smarter.
I think you're
Prescribes an exercise,
inhale going down, exhale coming up.
not so his patients grow stronger, but so they become smarter.
We probably had a C average. I taught him these exercises, and by the next semester, he was a completely different kid. His grades had gone to almost straight A's.
Take your left hand.
A teacher in Malibu saw similar improvements in her learning disabled kids.
We have kids that have autism, kids that have Asperger's, all different needs.
They were assigned the movements
Inhale, exhale.
not to shape their muscles, but to sharpen their minds.
Yeah, we get smarter and smarter.
Good, Brandon. One child used to just stand there and not move. And now I'll ask him to do something and he'll look at me and he'll just take a moment and then he'll do it.
A teacher, a doctor,
And then you take the right hand and place it over to the left earlobe.
a Yale neurobiologist,
Yes, I do it every day.
and an occupational therapist.
Inhale, blow up.
I think this might be the key to help unlock these children.
All are among those experimenting with an exercise to increase intelligence called Super Brain Yoga.
I would say the Super Brain Yoga is a fast, simple, drug-free method of increasing mental energy.
I learned Super Brain Yoga from Master Choa Kok Sui, and I noticed in my own life it made a difference. Like I wasn't spending as much time looking for my keys or walking into a room and forgetting why I was there.
Yale neurobiology researcher Jean Eng says Super Brain Yoga stimulates neural pathways in the brain by activating acupuncture points on the earlobe.
In modern terms, the brain is actually lateralized. So holding the left ear actually activates the right brain, and holding the right ear actually activates the left brain.
Eng says after doing the squatting sequence, EEG scans show the right and left hemispheres of the brain are synchronized.
And you're going to bring it across your body.
Reina Corturba doesn't need charts and graphs to be convinced. She saw the change firsthand in one 7-year-old student diagnosed as emotionally disturbed and dyslexic.
Could barely hold a pencil, could barely write. He's now in a regular ed classroom without an aide. He's one of the top children in his class.
This is a photo of a boy with autism and his mother who says he was transformed after starting Super Brain Yoga.
And he would bite, headbutt me, kick me, punch me, run against the wall, headbutt the wall. Since he started the exercise, he's not had one outburst.
For a culture accustomed to exercising to get fit, not get smart, yoga for brain power may seem harebrained.
I tell the patients and I tell the parents, this looks a little bit hokey, but the proof's in the pudding, and I've seen it work.
Yes, it does seem strange, but the effects are so worth the effort. It's like 5 minutes a day. Dramatic effect of my life that it's like it's a no-brainer.
Their intelligence. The exercise is rather easy to learn about Super Brain Yoga. I'm Jennifer Savi, CBS 2 News. Paul Beck.
It was Super Brain Yoga, and can you hear me? Can you hear me? And as for children, like I said, can start as early as the age of 3. Usually the children they have too much energy. But 14 sit-ups, 14 times sit-ups, one set is good enough. But in case for small children, you feel they have a lot more energy or excessive energy, they can do it twice as well, morning and evening. But once is good. Now, you remember that what you're going to do is it's crossing. So your left hand is holding your right ear and your right hand is holding the left ear. It is crossing. It is not like this. It is like this, left to the right ear, the right hand on top, and it's crossing and holding your left ear, right? And you're only holding the earlobe. So you're holding the earlobes with your thumb outward. You're not holding the whole ear. It's just the earlobe. All right? Tongue is to the palate. And you're going, inhale, go down. Yes, it's someone. Yes, Avinash, that was your punishment in school. Okay, no, someone else had that. So you go down, inhale, exhale, you come up, right? Inhale, go down, exhale, come up. 14 times is good. And for people who are a little bit older, let's say, now it's very difficult to say who's older. So if you tell someone, are you like older or senior citizen, it doesn't sound good. So I'm going to put it and restrict it to your own choice and discernment. If you feel that while doing the sit-ups, your knees hurt or your legs hurt, then please don't face the east, then you can face the north. When you face the north, you will have more energy coming from the north in your basic chakra, which we as pranic healers understand. So that chakra is controlling the basic chakra controls the skeletal system or the bones and the muscles. So when you face the north and do this, then your legs won't hurt or your knees won't hurt, right? So east for all the students and the youngsters, as you start feeling that these days, people are having knee pains even in their 40s. So can't say old, but if you're feeling discomfort in your knees or legs doing the sit-ups, please face the north and do it. All right? And remember to roll up your tongue to the palate while doing it. This will not only make your brain get more focused, you will get sharper, you will be able to plan out better your work. For all the students, you'll be able to study better, and it has a cumulative effect. So doing it one day is not going to make you a genius, but if you, let's say, continue doing it for a month, you will see that your results are getting better. Or you will see at work that your planning is getting more meticulous and very, very sharp and productive. So we have a lot of statistics and data collected, done in schools to show that class A, who was not doing Super Brain Yoga, versus class B doing Super Brain Yoga, the result difference was almost 33% higher. The grades came 33% higher for the class who was doing Super Brain Yoga. So now understand that this is something which is sort of regenerating your brain, expanding your crown chakra, and your brain is not going to get old for a long time. Your brain is going to rejuvenate and regenerate. I don't think medically they have anything to do that. But spirituality, of course, has. The twin heart meditation also makes you look younger. Why? Because you're activating your heart chakra, your crown chakra, and when you meditate, your pineal gland gets activated, your pituitary glands get activated. It's almost anti-aging. So you'll notice the people who meditate regularly will always look younger than their age. They don't get sick very fast. Their immunity is much better. Because again, when you do the Twin Hearts meditation, your heart chakra gets activated and your thymus gland gets activated. Usually people say thymus gland to hota hi nahi hai. So it drops off as you grow older. Not at all. When you do Twin Hearts meditation, your thymus gland gets activated, your immunity system boosts up, and you live much longer, much healthier, much calmer. And yes, of course, much sharper. So these are some techniques that I have shared with you. And I hope this is going to make you feel a lot calmer, feel less anxiety, feel happy and loving and loved, and make you focus on all your work. I will try and show you the video again one time of the Twin Hearts meditation and the pranic healing video. I hope this works. I'm sorry, please bear with me. I'm not so good technically. I believe in spiritual technology.
Somebody was asking whether this Super Brain Yoga can be done by a 4-year-old.
Yes, I said like from 3 years onwards, they can do this.
Okay.
Do you know that there is, you can Google this, Master Glenn, who's one of our acharyas, our masters. He is a neonatal surgeon in New Jersey, and he makes newborn babies do it. Little infants in the crib, newborn infants. What he does is he makes one nurse hold the legs and push-ups, and the other nurse put the hands like that on the little infant who's newly born. He says that develops their brain very fast. So even the infants are doing it. That happens with Master Glenn in New Jersey. right?
Wow.
And yes, one more thing I would like to share. For girls who are having their periods, please abstain from doing super brain yoga during the period. But after and before, you can do it. Right? So I'm trying to play the Twin Hearts meditation. Please type yes if you can see it, if it plays.
I think you'll have to put it on full screen. It's only then that
Yeah,
we.
I'm doing that. Yeah.
Would you like to increase your happiness? Or would you like to distress after a long, hard day's work? Then this meditation event is for you. The meditation in Twin Hearts is an advanced meditation technique. It is an extraordinary development, as well as a powerful instrument to bring about the harmony and world peace. It is practiced worldwide by people of different nationalities and religious backgrounds. A recent study presented at the 2015 Pranic Healing Research Institute, the PHRI, showed that doing meditation in Twin Hearts restructures the brain and increases in gamma waves. People who meditate with it, even in small doses, can remodel the electrical patterns of the brain, optimizing mental functioning to match that of successful professional athletes, entertainers,
so maybe we can send the video to all the participants separately in their email ID.
Yeah, we can do
I
that.
think there's some technical issue.
Yeah, and then also they can Google it. It's the Twin Hearts meditation, and it would be on the World Pranic Healing. We could share the link also with you, Vani. On World Pranic Healing, you could find on the website as well. The meditation, the videos are there. On Prana World also is one of the websites. Right? So with that, I think I will round it off. We have shared some tools with you to help you beat the stress and anxiety and have good, happy relationships, healthy mind, body, and soul. Right? And yes, of course, we all need financial healing because like our teacher, Grandmaster Chokok, so he was a businessman, I said, and he was a chemical engineer. He said spirituality and materialism are wings of the same bird. So we have to have financial success along with being spiritual, because money is energy in this world. Unless we have enough resources, how can we help humanity? So we need to just have discernment of using them correctly, but we must have good resources. So we must need to make money, and we need to have happy relations and a healthy mind and body. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Over to Vani now.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely session. We learned 5 tools today, guys. Have you all noted down? We learned how to breathe, the pranic breathing method. We learned the Twin Heart meditation. We can share the links with you. And also every day at 7 p.m., Gauri does a meditation session. So you can all join that if in case you're interested. It will really change your life. It will give you peace. It will give you, some centering in your life. If you could share that Zoom link, it would be great.
Just 1 second.
So if you can just put it on the chat, they can all use it. And another tool that we learned was the forgiveness prayer, which is also amazing. Again, personally, I've experienced it. In case you're having those feelings of anger or impatience with someone, if you use the forgiveness prayer, it works like magic. There was somebody on the chat who kept saying that he or she, they seem to be the the guinea pig of the family. They keep experiencing this. So please try the forgiveness prayer. Great invocation is another tool that we learned to bless our businesses, to bless our projects, to bless problems. And finally, the Super Brain Yoga, which is again very, very useful. I hope the teachers of ICF and ICOFP have been listening, and the students. So please practice this. Make your students practice. It's going to be amazing. Results are going to be amazing. So thank you so much for the session. And if we can devote like 5 or 10 minutes for question answers, if anybody has certain pressing, if that's okay with you, like if you have 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, we can do that. We can.
So if anybody has any specific questions, I could see that, on the chat, I could see that a lot of people felt a lot of heat and the feeling of fire in their belly, or a feeling of fire in their legs. So what does that mean?
So like some people wrote, when we were trying to feel the energy ball, then they felt little heat on their hands. So that is just your energy. You're just feeling your energy. Some people feel energy as heat. Some people find like just an air, like a cool air. But that's basically energy. Feeling the heat is the energy. And sometimes when, we do, right now we've not done the meditation, but when we are doing the meditation, or like we bless the earth while doing great invocation, a lot of divine energy comes in our aura. So that also, when we bless the earth, the heat comes out of our hands. So now that is for you to understand that there is energy actually coming out of your hands. So don't doubt yourself. You can actually bless the earth because you're a channel. And remember, we are not giving our own energy. We are getting energy from the Supreme God. The energy is coming in our crown, in our heart chakra, and then we are blessing the earth. So the energy from the Supreme God is coming and blessing. We are receiving it, so we feel a little bit warm. But we are just a channel. At no point do we get depleted, or we are not sending our energy. So don't worry about it.
Okay. And somebody has been asking that holding the tongue to your palate becomes very, very difficult.
Try it. Just take it up and keep it. In 2 days, I promise you, you will feel you always did it, because that's the natural way for a body to be. So try and roll it back and take it to the soft spot. But initially, if you can't, because you feel it stretches, just keep it on top. So just like that. Just keep it on top. After 2 days, you will suddenly feel, it's like a muscle. You feel like it's stretched and you can go back, because that's the natural way. You will feel good about it. Believe me. And it stops us from gossiping on the phone a lot and doing house parties. It will create, it will really help you focus a lot more. So it works.
And guys, we will share all the tools with you. Can we share the PPT that you shared here, which has the forgiveness prayer, the great invocation? Can we share with the participants?
Yes, please do. It is meant for them. You can share it.
Okay, great. Kriti, are you there? Have you any other questions compiled that I missed out?
Somebody's asking about the breathing technique. So breathing technique, what I said was, find your pulse. That is the speed of your heartbeat. Sorry, and go with your heartbeat and do like you're holding this. So it's going tick, tick, tick like that. So 7 times inhale, 1 tick you will do hold, and 7 points exhale, 1 time hold. Or you can do 6-3, 6-3, depending on how long you can hold your breath.
And somebody was asking, is it okay to do like a 5 till the count of 5, or do we have to do a minimum?
Minimum 6-3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see Rajesh is asking, does it matter which direction we face while performing the Super Brain Yoga?
Yes, it matters. Like I said, you have to face the east, because east is where the spiritual energy comes from, right? So you face the east and divine blessings and energy comes from you, so your brain gets sharper. But like I said, as you grow older, or you're feeling discomfort in your knees or legs, then you must face north, because north is where the energy from the east is golden prana, north is red prana. So red prana helps us activate the basic chakra, makes our bones and muscles stronger. So when we do it, the effect in the brain will be the same, but yet it will also make our basic stronger, which does not give us pain in the legs and knees while bending. That is for people who are a little bit older, let's say, can't say an age, but knee pain, whoever gets them, 50 or before or after, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those who are asking, how long is the meditation on Twin Hearts, and
It's
if
20
their wives
minutes.
and spouses can join?
Yes, they can surely join. I can give you the ID and the password, or you can share it, Vani. I can give it to you and you can share it on the chat. Yeah?
I should.
So we just sent you.
Yeah.
So you can share it with them. At 7 o'clock, I'll be conducting it. And if they're joining, then I will explain the Twin Heart meditation and we can do it. It's 20 minutes. Explanation will be 7-8 minutes. And their family can join. Yes, anybody can join. It would be nice. We normally do it as the families sit together and we do it as a group activity every evening at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So if no more questions, then we can sign off. Maybe any last question? Fine. So I think we are covered and we'll be sharing the tools with everybody. Thank you so much for the session. It was very knowledgeable and helpful. I'm sure everybody who attended will benefit out of it.
Yes, I hope it can make the world a happier place. All right.
That's our goal. Make
That's
the
our
world
goal.
a happier place.
Yes, and the world is constitutes of us, right? So we are happy, the world is happy. All right. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you, Vani, so much for giving me this platform to spread happiness. Thank you very much. Take care. Take care.